retina, and I can see his optic nerve. So your optic nerve sends the signal up to your brain, okay? And your eyes talk to each other because your optic nerves cross in the back. So the light comes in the eye, and then this focuses on the retina, and then your retina is actually 10 layers thick, and there's different you have rods and you have cones, and those, and you have little retinal ganglion cells. They take the message and then they send it via the optic nerve up to your brain to tell you what you're seeing. Because of his pupils being large, I more suspect now that there's a problem back here. His pressures are normal. That's another thing. If you have a glaucoma in both eyes, it makes your pupils large for a different reason. But his do respond with a little more light. So sometimes early on when you have retinal disease, you have enough function there to make your pupils react a little, even though you can't see. So even though when I look straight in at his retina, and I'm assuming you're, so you can send them a, so this is, there you go, where a retina is. Come on in. This is Dr. Rothberger. So vessels look good, and optic nerve looks good. So sometimes the cause of the blindness is the cornea. Sometimes it's inflammation in this part. Sometimes we have cataracts. Sometimes our retina is actually detached, okay? That's not the case. Sometimes our optic nerve is inflamed and it's coming forward kind of like a mushroom in the back of the eye. That's not the case either. But I'm worried about the function of his retina. So the way we, even though it looks normal, what we do is we let them adapt to the dark, and then under a topical anesthetic drops, we're going to put gold impregnated contact lenses on his corneas, little electrodes to ground, and then kind of like when they run an EKG of your heart, and we measure the different waveforms, that's what we're going to do in the retina, and we want to see something that looks like this, okay? Right. That would tell us that that retina that looks normal is actually functioning well. If not, then you worry that the problem's up here further. So the further you get out of when the onset of blindness started, if the problem's behind the eye, sometimes if I know the retina's working and I suspect, okay, there might be inflammation, your eyes are like this, each eye, and that optic nerve goes like this, and that one goes like that, and then your brain's up here, okay? So sometimes the problem is back here, and so sometimes if the retina's working but we still have dilated pupils, I will treat with high levels of like steroids and try to get, if there's some inflammation, get it down so we can restore vision. But the further we get out from the onset of when the blindness occurred, then sometimes we don't get as good a response. So I'd say first and foremost, let's see how his retina is functioning. Okay. So I'm gonna dim the lights. Y'all can take a post-lunch nap and let him dilate and adapt to the dark. In about 15 minutes, we'll come get him. The room next to us is where we run the ERG, so we don't have far to go. And we'll try to cover his eyes as we go in there. I've already dilated, and then we'll see. If you want to look at his retinas with a transilluminator, it will dim the lights and you can look real quick. And
how much is that charge?
It is $373 about. It's a test. We don't do it on every dog. We ran one this morning on a dog that's actually still visual, and it's a breed that we know gets retinal degeneration, but yet his retinas look normal, and I ran it just because nothing else was amiss, and his retinas aren't working. If a very odd case. Priscilla, you have to hold his lids open when she's looking. If she does it that way, it makes it easier. There you go. I think you'll get a pretty good view.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, I can see it over your shoulder.
Yeah.